Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined as always by my guy on the East Coast, Nate Weitzer. And we are spanning the games tonight, Nate, looking for some best player props, all the value that we can find. These are some of our favorites. We've been hitting pretty nicely on these player props this year so far in the early going, and we will look to keep that momentum up for you guys. But as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to FDPicks or FDPicks.com or DKPicks.com and find those listings in your area. Nate, let's jump into some of those lines and player props for tonight.
Yeah, we have a 5-game slate here on Tuesday. You got the Sixers minus 1.5 at Knicks. You got the Warriors minus 9.5 at the tanking Thunder. You have the Rockets plus 10.5 at the Mavericks. The Lakers minus 3.5 at the Spurs. And finally, the Nuggets are plus 7 at the Jazz. I'm going to stick with the Rockets-Mavericks game for my first pick here. And for the record, I do like the Rockets to cover a 10-point spread. They're kind of the opposite of the Thunder in terms of their tanking strategy, where they say, yeah, we might win some games accidentally, but it's okay because we're developing our young talent. Right. Seems like it makes a little more sense. So Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green are going to get all the run that they can handle. It's definitely been a mixed bag for KPJ so far this season. He has a game with 8 turnovers and 9 turnovers, and he fouled out in one of those. But in the one he did not against a struggling OKC team, as mentioned, he put up 31 points, rebounds, assists. He's averaging 26 combined PRA. That's 16 points, 6 assists, 3.7 rebounds in nearly 30 games since joining Houston, and his road splits have been much better, actually, in that sample size. 17.5 points, 7 assists, so on 45% shooting. So based on those averages, he could get over this PRA number just with points and assists. But the Mavericks are going to provide a lot of opportunities for rebounds right now. Surprisingly, we thought their defense would struggle under Jason Kidd. Yeah. It's been their offense that's been abysmal through 2 games. Rick Carlisle obviously deserves some credit there for getting the most out of the roster that is around Luka, which we still don't think makes a ton of sense. It's kind of an enigma. I don't really know what you do, but that's neither here nor there. The point is KPJ, if he can stay out of foul trouble, we're looking at 35 to 40 minutes. We're looking at a 24% usage rate and a guy who is the primary ball handler alongside Christian Wood, great role man. The Rockets are actually 6th in paint points this year, and I think that he can get some easy dimes hooking up with him, easy rebounds on some bricks from Dallas, and I think the Rockets can keep this one close and keep their starters in late.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to rely on that continued poor offense for Dallas if they're going to be as good on defense as they are. I'm definitely not ready to make any amends to Jason Kidd for saying that he wouldn't be able to maintain any kind of defensive tenacity with this team after Carlisle left, but they are surprisingly good here. Still, it is going to come down to who's making plays on offense for Houston. And to your point, there's 2 guys that'll have the ball in their hands in this game, and KPJ's is a good bet to get 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists tonight. So I'm with you there. Another youngster that I'm going to take here, our guy that we've mentioned already a couple times this year, Jordan Poole on the Warriors. I think this is going to be mostly a case of a blowout, meaning second unit, meaning get more run for guys who need more experience, such as Jordan Poole, Moutier, and the youngsters there. Probably see some Wiseman when he comes back in games like this. But for tonight, Jordan Poole will have the ball in his hands a lot. I think, if Steph's able to sit that fourth quarter, I think they would love to be able to do that with him. Make sure he gets about 20 to 25 points before that, maybe get him 20, 25 minutes, and then call it for him. And then really see Jordan Poole take over, in moments like the end of the second quarter, with the second unit into the second quarter, and then even honestly into the fourth quarter when I think he'll be the main ball handler out there, as we've seen in at least one of their blowouts this season, the Warriors, where Jordan Poole stayed in the game well after guys like Steph and Draymond and Iggy and even Bielitsa were out of it. So 18.5 points for him. Like I said, the blowout factor kind of helps him. He's an incredible shooter, and we know OKC can't stop a nosebleed from 3-point line, allowing 17 made threes at a clip of 38% to their opponents this year. Not good. Very impressive bad on defense for them. And the Warriors are continuing to shoot lights out to a degree. I mean, they had a rough first game of the season in terms of their shooting percentages between Steph and Jordan Poole. But since then, it's been definitely the Steph and Jordan Poole show on offense against the Kings and the like. So, yeah, in terms of his ability to get over 18.5 points against this team tonight with his shooting this season, yeah, I'm taking Jay Poole there.
Yeah, and until Clay comes back, he's still getting plenty of opportunities with the first unit. His usage rate's actually hanging pretty steady when Steph is on the floor. Steph draws so much attention, especially the way he's burned OKC in the past, that should open up some easy looks for Poole. It's minus money to get 18.5 points for him, but plus to get 3.5 threes or more. You're going to have to depend on him shooting a higher clip, but this is a very bad defensive team, and he's attempting 7.3 trays per game this year. So I do like kind of throwing a little bit of money on that and hoping that he hits those looks that he will certainly get.
He will, yeah.
Circling back to the first game on the slate, Knicks Sixers. I don't understand how Julius Randle keeps getting such good juice on his odds to record a double-double. I mean, plus 150 at DraftKings. You can probably get better odds to take double-double in a win at FanDuel, probably closer to plus 200 in a game that's a toss-up according to the spread. You can also get him over 8.5 rebounds against the Sixers team that he's averaged 22 points and 10 rebounds per game over his last 6 meetings, generally stepping up more in tight games for the Knicks. He is the leader of this team. He is a two-way player who's getting plenty of boards. We're talking 32 points and 12 rebounds per game in the 2 home games this season. And again, around those averages, 22 and 10 at home last year. So I think it's almost a lock. Jay Randall gets a double-double in this game, which is expected to be low scoring with a 218 total. Both teams are top 10 in field goal percentage, points in the paint allowed. I think there will be plenty of boards to be had, and he is one of the Knicks' best rebounders.
Yeah, I mean, you can make the argument he's the best rebounder, but I think that the scary part of taking any kind of prop on stats tonight is that there might not be that many shots put up with the pace that these two teams play. So that's probably the fear for some bettors in terms of taking a double-double for Jay Randall. But look, the man, as you mentioned, is a walking double-double at home, especially. And against Philly last year in 6 games, he averaged that double-double, 22 and 10. On some ugly shooting splits, to be honest, because it's tough for him to get open shots inside of 5 feet when Joel is standing there. Then he's got to rely on that 3-ball and the mid-range a little bit more. But the rebounds don't scare me at all, and he's going to get 10 points. So plus 150 there for the double-double, or just taking the rebounds at 8.5. Love all of that for him. So, yeah, I'm going to follow you in that one. Might take Fournier's points because they remain low at about 14.5 as well in this game. But Jay Randall is the best bet to be able to put up some numbers tonight for the Knicks. And I will cap things off with another big man here, Anthony Davis on the Lakers. Don't know what's going on with them. I kind of feel the age setting in. Obviously, the chemistry will continue to be able to try to find that. Playing alongside LeBron James, as fun as it can also be kind of difficult at times. If you ask the early on with the Miami Heat trying to figure things out, it's kind of a similar scenario when you've got some new players, including Melo and Russ Westbrook. But one thing is for sure, Anthony Davis is one of, if not the best player on the floor. Pretty much every time he's out there, stands a few guys. And with his health intact, playing against a Spurs team that they're not very good. They put up some decent games, but they're going to be pretty bad this season. And AD in his career against them averages about 35, 36 points, rebounds, and assists combined. It's at 36.5 tonight, which is something that I don't love. But I do love him to be able to get points. The Spurs allow a ton of points in the paint, which is where I think he'll be able to eat tonight. So if you like him to be the leading scorer in this game, that's plus 180 on your money. I would feel really good about that as opposed to even just taking his points prop at about 26.5, which still doesn't get you quite the same return there. If he's going to get around that many points tonight, which I do believe, there's nobody on the Spurs I'm worried about scoring. It's really is it going to be him or LeBron putting up the most points tonight, in my opinion. And getting plus 180 back on your money for AD seems like a pretty good juice there.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron is the favorite to lead the game in scoring, but he has not really been super aggressive here early in the season. Russell Westbrook's been extremely deferential as he tries to fit in. And so that's what's going on with the Lakers offense is they're just trying to figure out roles and who wants to take more shots and who's feeding who. And the one constant has been Anthony Davis being a walking mismatch. Way too quick for Jakob Poeltl. The Spurs are going to have a lot of trouble stopping him tonight. I don't understand. Where's Carmelo Anthony on this board, though? Top point scorer. I think he led the Lakers last time with 28 off the bench. The old man microwave. Almost not a single other stat other than chucking. But in all seriousness, yes, Anthony Davis is by far the most likely to lead the Lakers in scoring. And I think that's worth the plus 180 bet.
Yeah, and since we're talking about funny stats, I did want to throw out there, congratulations to Avery Bradley, who was the 11th NBA player in history the other night to record 20-plus minutes in an NBA game without recording a single stat, which was very, very impressive. So kudos, mazel tov to our boy Avery Bradley. No fouls, 0 stats. Pretty impressive. So we'll see what's up for the Lake Show tonight against the Spurs. Honestly, we're going to be watching AD's points there, but we're also wondering if the Lakers are going to come out and smash a team like we were expecting them to this season at some point. So either way, enjoy Tuesday night's NBA slate. A little one for you comparatively, but some good games out there that we will be looking into. If you are liking what we're bringing you, make sure to like and subscribe to these videos. And until we see you guys next time, happy betting.